Hello turkeys, this is Dust in the Wind and I'm going to show you guys another JFJ Easy Pro video, but this time it's going to be a hack. Now this will save you guys money and it will save you time and it'll make your discs look even better than using the JFJ Easy Pro products. So right here I've got a disc that's very heavily scratched, as you can see. And normally you would want to use this pad with a sanding disc. Now, sanding discs work, but you're going to see swirls. So I'd recommend, if you are going to sand and you have to, absolutely have to, get the 600 and ditch the 1200 or 1000 or whatever it is. And just go to the store and get some 3M film and trace it out. Just make sure it's got that sticky back to it, like you can see there, and it works the exact same, and it's half the price, because that coarse film, it gets like built up really quick and it'll turn into the fine, so don't even bother buying the fine. Now if you're doing a Ps1 game, you're going to definitely see an issue with using the sanding disc, and even if you're using a normal disc like this. So I'd recommend trying this next step out. Using a little bit of toothpaste on there if it's really bad. Doesn't really matter what kind. Start off with using that. Try using like a used pad, like you can see here. Like the pad I've got in here right now is not used as much, so I'd use that for the finer stuff, right? But a tip for getting the most life out of your pad would be you place it in there, and this is the maximum extra you're going to get. It's just a piece of cardboard cut out. So what I do is I take the cardboard, I put it in, then you put your disc in, then you put your washer on. And you can rub your toothpaste or your car wax, depending on the severity, right on the disc, and a little bit on here doesn't hurt. And always spray on some water, because that helps with lubrication. So you might as well just ditch this stuff here. If you're getting that fine, you can always try using these two, but you know what? I've been using this stuff right here and it works just awesome. Like, it's really good for like most discs. That's all you need. If it's severely scratched, then yeah, I'd use the toothpaste and then I'd use that. Okay, it's simple as that. Now if you're using a pad that's not as worn down as the one I just showed you here, and you don't need this cardboard. This is only for when the pad gets worn down quite a bit. So for a pad like this or newer, I recommend getting this Yardworks, I don't know if you can read it, it's pretty dirty, Yardworks washer, and it's for your garden hose. Now what I did was I took a razor blade and I gently scored it along all the edges, and then I kept running it through to make it half the width. So when you put your disc on for fine treatment, you put this washer on, then you screw on your nut. And you want to make sure that that nut is just nice and tight. Not too tight, but just tight enough that when you go to pull this disc up and down, it doesn't move. And you want to make sure that it's not cross-threaded, because it will cross-thread sometimes. So you got to make sure, because if that does cross-thread, when you're looking at your disc around the center here, you're going to see little micro scratches. Not scratches, sorry, micro cracks, even worse. And if this disc is cracked in the middle, it's worthless, alright? So another tip is, do not go past 2 minutes when you're buffing. Okay, if you do it for say a minute and you notice that it's just not working with the normal car wax, then step it up, use the toothpaste. And like I said, once you get past 2 minutes, you're pushing it because you don't know where that disc has been. Like with these newer discs like PS2 and all that, Xbox, then yeah, you're okay. But if you're working with a PS1 disc, you don't want to be pushing it past 2 minutes. Anything past that, and you know, it's on you, right? And what I'll do is I'll make a stack. So once I run them all through, if they're lightly scratched, I get them to the point where I want them, and I'll just keep stacking them. And then I will take them over to the sink and I will run them under the tap. And once they're run under the tap, I'll take a towel and I'll gently brush them with like a microfiber. You want a nice microfiber. And then I'll set them like this, right down on the towel, and I'll let them all dry out. So as I run them down the sink, and I don't even touch them, I just run them under the water, and then I'll wash them, I'll brush them with the microfiber and just keep dropping them down on here. And then you get your better microfiber and you run it down just the top layer so it won't get soaked. And this will already be dry by the time it sits there for a while. So yeah, that's my couple of hacks there. Hope this helps save you guys money like it did me. And yeah, like I said, don't start sanding unless you absolutely have to. If it's a PS1 disc, and you know what, even these guys, you're going to see these circular marks running all along the disc, and you know what, then you have to tell the person you're selling it to it's been resurfaced, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it may work fine, but try this out first. And make sure you use enough water. Give it a couple spritz every 1 or 2 discs, and that'll help a lot too. And anytime you're changing from coarse to fine, make sure you take that disc out and you give it a nice wipe. Take it right out, all along here. Give it a nice wipe each process, right? Alright, thanks guys. Take care.